Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tabletop. It's been a little while since we've been here, but Chobra here, as always, hosting with Gnimsh, and we have Massan joining us, the winner of today's Deck War. So, welcome and congratulations, Massan.
Thanks for kind welcome.
Of course, we're all nice people here, you know.
All right.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, well done for sure. Before we move on, for those watching, Orange will be joining us for turn 2 actually after Tabletop. But for now, we're going to focus on Massan's victory 4-3 over Orange. And I mean, let's talk about the match first. Let's go through a brief interview there since we didn't get to have a winner's interview. Oh, why do you say? Oh God? I mean, are there things you don't want to talk about from the match?
Well, I did make a few misplays, I think, especially the last match.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, Gnimsh and I were talking, and we really just saw it as more of sometimes, you taking risks, and different from perhaps the timings we would have taken. But at the end, it all worked out, right? So, when it all works out, you should always turn back and be like, oh yeah, that was a calculated risk. It was all.
No. I actually made a mistake at the very end. Instead of playing instead of playing Solid Belcher, I should have gone with the Shredder,
Smuster.
so that I have a very good chance at getting 2 attack, and that would be lethal.
Right.
The rest, I think it just went as planned.
Right on. I mean,
So maybe let's go like from the start. And the start is like when you learned that you're playing against Orange. We talked about it. Like you were having a lot of respect for Orange because of his like previous successes and he's like the wins and how he qualified and how he did at Pinnacles. And
yeah.
So how did you prepare for the match after you actually learned that you're playing with this Orange?
I actually couldn't find a video of him playing Rogue in Pinnacle, but I learned that one of his strength point is a Rogue. So basically, I had every deck I had Lefebvre and Harrison Jones, and I was just gonna end Mage and just walk through. Basically, I just beat him with a mid range. That was a plan from the start.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah. It was interesting to see both of your bans, right? Because you banned the Mage, which seemed pretty reasonable with the recent success of Mage decks. But then on the flip side, your Druid got banned, and it seems like it might have been specifically for that Rogue. So it's nice to hear that you specifically had, your decks kind of catered towards that Rogue, and then you could safely ban the Mage. Now, I mean, after the first loss, and then you went straight to your Warrior, which turned out to be a very good choice, which, with 3 wins in a row. What were you feeling, after that first loss? Were you just like, all right, well, that's fine. Now I know kind of what I'm working up against specifically.
I was a little bit disappointed because my Warlock that I prepared, it had a favorable matchup against everything he had except for Rogue. And, I didn't think he will bring Rogue at the start because all my other matchups were favored. Like, I have Mage, which he didn't ban. He banned the Druid, so Druid isn't really favored versus Rogue, but the Warrior is a favorite versus Rogue, and Paladin, I think, like aggravation, like mid-early Paladin is favored versus Rogue, in my opinion. So I actually did not expect him. Well, then of course the Mech Mage kills Rogue, I think, because all the freezes. So I actually did not think they would bring Rogue, and he did it. And that worked out.
So he won the mind games in the beginning.
Yeah, he won the mind games.
But then he just jumped into your Warrior, where you are playing a Warrior a lot, and you have like great skills with that. So how did you feel when he actually went for the mirror match? How do you feel about the mirror match versus Warrior?
I feel very comfortable in the mirror matchup somehow. Well, here's the thing. So to prepare for this matchup, I knew that he was gonna probably bring Henlock. I knew that he was gonna bring Rogue. I knew that he was going to probably bring Druid, and Armor Smith is pretty much useless against all 3 of that. And I saw Warrior too, and Warrior mirror matchup Armor Smith is pretty bad. So I took out Warrior. No, I took out Armor Smith, just put in Lothab so that I have better mid range. So at the end, I knew I was going to, as long as we trade 1-1, I knew that I was going to come out ahead. And we both ran Classic, so as long as I survived until the end, I think I was out to just come out ahead, unless Dr. Boom, of course.
How did you feel about how did you feel about your immortal Grommash that survived Ragnarok, survived the brawl?
Yeah.
That
was pretty intense.
that was pretty intense. Yeah. Well, I played the Grommash because I knew that he ran out of every removal he could have possibly used. And I didn't think that he plays classic, and classic warriors are pretty weak against these new GVG meta. So they don't typically run 2 big game hunters, although I don't know for sure.
Right
so he used, from my counting, he burned all his removals and the big game hunter. So I just played the Gnimsh and hope that it survived, and it did.
Yeah, wow, that worked out real well. It was pretty tense for the 2 turns that it survived, but it got through pretty well. Before we go on, I do want to ask, we can talk about more things as we jump in, and I want to ask you to play one of the decks you prepared for today's Deck Wars, and maybe Gnimsh, what deck do you want to see? I'm thinking maybe the Warlock, personally. I mean, I know the Warrior was a shining moment, but like we all know you like tap on turn 2 and then you wait. Like we all know how that goes. So, what about you, Gnimsh?
Well, personally, I would like to see Mech Mage because we've seen only like a fraction of it. But I'm not sure if people want to see Mech Mage, so let's go with the Warlock.
Let's look at the Warlock first. Let's think about our viewers.
Hang on. So the deck I originally prepared on NA, like right now we are on NA server and we played on EU, and I did not have all the cards on the EU server. I didn't have a Magnus in specific, so I changed the deck.
Oh wow!
Like, are you telling me you actually just played versus Orange with like, oh, I don't have cards, so I'm going to play the subpar deck, but I'm still going to win the series, whatever.
Well, I practiced both, so I was pretty comfortable on either one of them, and they had about the same matchups, I think.
Right on. I mean, you can just play with what you prepared on NA, and you can talk us through that.
All right.
Or if you can just tweak it real quick to show us what you had prepared on the actual match.
Actually, yeah, I'll tweak it quickly.
All right,
I'm just imagining you just playing Farseers instead of healbots because you don't have healbots and no dust to craft them, and like playing Geomancer instead of Thalnos, and
hey man, I got wrecked once by a Geomancer Warlock. It's the unexpected is always the scariest, right? It's like, what is that Geomancer doing there? Huh? You start thinking about what else they could possibly have.
Yeah.
But we'll wait for Massan to tweak it up so it's more accurate of what he had for the match today.
It is actually like Geomancer is playable in a rogue deck because you do want to have some more spell damage. You run like 1000 double arcane, the Azure Drake, and you want some more even. So you can play Geomancer in a rogue deck, and I think Dog was playing. Oh, like other players as well were playing Geomancer.
Yeah, we saw it. I think we saw Dog play it on the Deck Wars actually. That he won. I think it was a Geomancer in the beginning, which kind of threw us off, but it was nice to see. I definitely think Geomancer is definitely on the.
You still play Thanos, right? With that?
The side. Yeah, I think so. I think it was just additional. I don't think you would trade it out for Thanos.
All right, I have a problem.
Uh-oh. Do you not have all the cards you had for the EU one? Is that what's going on?
Yes. Yeah.
What are you missing? Geomancers?
No. I'm missing. You know what? I'll quickly disenchant. I'm missing Mistress of Pains, which is kind of weird.
Okay. All right. We'll have Masada tweak it up for us.
So I'll need a moment, basically.
Yeah, all right, that's cool.
I love the card, by the way. Mistress of Pain is such a great card. I'm so happy that it's back somehow in a meta game where like Mistress of Pain and Demon Heart is just such a cool combination.
Yeah, it's a scary combination, really.
Yeah,
if you can get it off.
It's like a 12 life swing. Like I was playing similar deck today on stream, and I just I was playing around against Hunter. Just Demon Heart, the Mistress of Pain, and use like 12 life swing. Like just deal 6, heal 6. Yeah. It's just incredible.
That's huge. It's pretty big. And then it's hard to deal with too, right? Because it's 6 damage, it's not 7.
It's like a 6/9.
But then it's got a lot of health. Yeah.
How do you deal with a 6/9? Like whenever it deals damage, you heal again.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
But Demon Heart is overall a good card. Like we've seen Massan use it on Lotheb just for the giggles.
But hey, he was one of Leaf. He didn't have anything.
I know. if Rogue wouldn't have like 1 damage and like 5 cards in the hand, but yeah, that was a correct decision. But yeah, it deals with like Sludge Belcher, and it deals like with Ancient of Lore. It's a pretty good removal card for 5. And if you can buff like an Imp or Mistress of Pain, it's just amazing. So I'm also happy that we have like those new GVG cards that were previously unused. actually shine in the meta game.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty good cycle through the metagame, I think. And now with the Undertaker nerf, I'm sure it'll develop a lot more too. I'm excited to see if hunters can finally get out of their trope and come up with other things that can work a little better.
Hunter will come back. Hunter always.
I mean, Hunter will come back, but will it just come back with the old deck, right? Like, because that can work too, I'm sure.
Oh wait, did you guys want to see the typical version, or did you want to see the exact version? Because there's a difference.
Whatever.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever's comfortable. I mean, especially, you know, if you, by typical, if you mean something that like works better for ladder, you can just play that and then tell us what the differences are.
Well, the only difference is basically the original version had mind control tech, but then against a rogue and lock warrior, they all kind of are bad. And I was gonna ban mech mage, so mage, so.
Oh, let's play the one with the
mind control tech is really bad against all the classes he brought, including Druid.
Yeah. Let's play the one with the mind control text, just because part of it is also we want to show decks that are a little bit more relatable for viewers that play on ladder, because a lot of tournament decks, like you said specifically, that's the reason. It's like we don't run into those three classes as often as we would knowing the classes in Deck Wars.
I'm ready then.
All right, let's jump right into a game.
Let's go,
and then we'll get our observer on there.
So during the stream, I was saying that you're running Dark Onyx deck, but then it's just saying because we've seen Dark Onyx playing it, but maybe it's the Massan deck. Actually. Like, what kind of deck are you running?
It's basically same deck. I lost to. All right, so here's a story about my matchup versus Demon deck. So in Quinguins, I went versus Kalento. He brought Demon deck, which was a somewhat sort of zoo with implosions, and I got 3-0 by it on round of 4. Wait. Yeah, round of 4, so I got top 4, lost to Kalento. And then on Battle of the Best, I lost to ECOP 3-0 first game as well against this exact deck. Kalento and ECOP obviously a different deck, but the point was that my line was really, really weak versus the Demon Locks or this kind of deck in general. Like handlock, control lock, but it's not really classic handlock.
Right.
So I just practiced a bunch of handlock to get to know ins and out, like weakness and strength. And turns out it's became pretty good at it, I think.
Nice.
Well, no, I'm not expert at it by no means, but I got a hang of it.
But yeah, you're getting the hang of it. I mean, that's always nice to hear. You know, making sure, and you know, once you've tasted the defeat from a deck like that a couple of times, you definitely want to pick it up.
It's not fun.
Relate to that.
I got 6-0'd by a demon. Oh my god, that was awful.
Yeah, that hurts. But then again, you learn a lot playing against this deck as well. Like you know where the tough spots where actually you're losing and what's really making you make like decisions. Yep. All right, so take us about the opening maybe. Like, why did you mulligan this way? What are you looking for against Druid?
I actually just noticed that I'm not supposed to have some Fear Protector.
Well, now we know. Now we can play through when you mess up your own deck list on ladder. How do you go about it? Yeah, I saw Massan going silent for a second. No, it's okay. We'll play through this one.
Oh god.
We somehow queued it into Coach Bombay. Coach Bombay is going to coach us how to play Druid.
Totally.
Oh man.
Wow. All right. Okay. Implosion is generally just good early on. You can pretty much still wait all your 4 drops, and it's the same thing. Like with this deck, you just want to survive until you can get those very late game Sylvanus, Kel'Thuz's needs, and Lord's Roxas. So I'm just looking for removals early on, including Zombie Chow.
All right, sounds reasonable. So you said you took out the mind control text for the match, right? The tournament match. So
yeah, for the match itself.
Yeah, what'd you replace them with in the match then?
Big Game Hunter. Because I knew that he was going to be running Classic Warrior and Henlux. So I wanted to have a really superior matchup versus that, except, you know, against the Rogue, mind control is way better.
Yeah. Did you have like double BGH then? Or did you have only one? Double BGH? One BGH?
Oh, yeah, I had double Big Game Hunters.
Okay, yeah, so you just replace them straight up. Then we'll see the implosion come out.
Alright, so now we see the skill getting 4 imps. You're pretty good at this deck.
Oh yeah. I mean, in this particular matter, it didn't matter what he had, what damage it dealt. It was gonna kill or trade eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even if I dealt 2 damage, it kill off with 1 with the hero power, then I can kill the rest off. And here, though, like I don't know what I have in Sunfury Protector. That's a problem right now.
Probably instead of like Lothab or something.
Yeah, might have forgotten one of the
idea.
one-offs. But
actually,
as long as you don't draw into Molten Giants, we're good.
Yeah, I don't run Molten in this one. I don't understand. Wait, maybe I don't have Forcers. That actually could make sense. Anyways, I play the Mistress so that I can buff it up and then kill something.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, and there we go.
The healing starts.
Yeah, and the damage. I mean, what do you do about this, especially as the silence is probably the best answer.
Yeah, you have to have the keeper, but still, you just lost the Senjin and the minion is still on the board.
Yeah, and you got the 6 heal off of it, so that's really solid.
I actually don't know if that went pretty well for me. I don't think so, because the fact that he's playing Senjin probably means that he's playing a very heavy ramp druid.
Yeah.
And against that, I don't know if you wanna burn Demon Heart like that.
Right on.
Well, you do run Siphon Souls, right?
Oh yeah, I do run 2 Siphon Souls. So I'm just saying, it could be used to kill off the bigger minions, not the Senjin.
Right.
But then again, I guess it's even trade 1 card for 1 card. And I should have stronger late game, I hope. I really hope not. I really hope that I didn't take out really heavy cards.
For the
that's a
all right.
Doesn't look good, man. Doesn't look good.
Does not look good. So what did I take out? So this probably means I either don't have any of my legendaries. Well, the 2 of my legendaries.
We've seen Sneeds, and we've seen
Sneeds.
Kel'Thuzad is there, so.
Yep, Trace is there too. So
why not have Belcher? I have Belcher.
You have
I know what I don't have. I don't have Twilight Drakes.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. That makes a pretty solid difference, but
that might hurt you in this matchup, but it's not terrible.
It's better than like taking out Jiraxis, right, for the Sunfury Protector.
And Sunfury Protector can be useful, especially with
yeah, with the Jiraxis, it's useful.
Very nice.
It's all calculated just for this matchup, man.
So by a small mistake, you actually improved the deck.
Oh man!
It's just like subconsciously, you were like, "Oh my god, I just need to make this change."
This matchup, I think it might have. Who knows? Because the Twilight Drakes aren't typically as good, unless he burns both keepers on Belchers, like he did.
So now, what's your player already? You know, you guys are gonna start having
drop,
a lot
but
more
I don't know
options.
with what. I guess I'll use the weak minions. He's at full health. So let's draw a card and see what we get. Oh my. Alright, so I'm at 10 cards. Meaning I should burn 1. This is a little iffy.
So I have to ask the question then.
Yep.
When normally you would play Kel'Thuzad? Are you waiting for like removal to get spent, or specific like board?
Something enough that I can just run things in and revive. And the only way there for me to revive my own unit is implosion my own unit. Right?
Yeah.
Is that the time for Kel'Thuzad?
Sure. Do I want to revive the zombie Jaws?
Yeah, I was gonna say like infinite heals. For...
Well, you can heal the guy till he concedes, right? Like.
Oh yeah. Pretty much anytime you can get a huge volley, I play Kel'Thuzad. In this case, not quite good enough, but it's all right.
So many zombie chows.
I know.
Your mistress
zombie chow he's at 30 health, so it doesn't really matter if I heal him for 5, right?
Yeah, it didn't matter this turn, but we'll see if it continues and he keeps getting 10 health. He's like, oh, I'm running low. Let me just wrath it again.
I know. Worst nature Saboteur.
Now this guy is just going to entangle Kel'Thuzad and...
in a minute.
Oh, he's going
okay. I thought they might be Innervate.
Huh.
Savage Roar, which I should have played around, I suppose. I'll just heal myself for a bunch now.
Yeah, he doesn't have a way to deal with the Kel'Thuzad then, so he's just trying to burst you down.
Nope. I wish I could play one more. So I can also go first here.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad can be annoying.
This is because how you win.
Whoa.
Except for the Sunfury Protector part.
Yeah, this deck is very interesting. Like this survivability of this just insane with so many heals and removal and taunts. Those Sunfury Protectors so brilliant. Oh my god.
Well, let's try it without the Sunfury Protectors and see.
Oh, I actually want to try it.
Just so we can see if it, what difference it brings. Of course, it could just not bring a difference if we don't see the Drakes being drawn at all anyway. But while you're preparing that, since we have you here, we might as well talk about some other things too in Hearthstone. Mainly, we touched upon it earlier. Undertaker nerfs obviously have changed things quite a bit. What do you think about that? I'm sure you would think it's well deserved, but.
I mean, I talked about it, and it should have happened in Naxxramas. I don't know if it should have happened in GVG, because I feel like people deal with the Undertaker a lot better than they did in Naxxramas. Like, the way you dealt with the Undertaker in Naxxramas is you play Undertaker as well. But in GVG, you had a lot of other answers.
Right on.
Now it feels like more people play Zombicha, right? It's like... Or Cogmaster even, so you do have
yeah. Cogmaster is the 3/2 technically,
right? Effectively. I mean, otherwise
so
you
often it does more damage. Also, it ramps up faster.
But don't you feel like the meta game changed a bit right now without Undertaker? Like Hunter is not that dominant anymore.
Oh, 1 second. But I would agree with that. That has changed it quite a bit, and people are already complaining that like, oh, Mech Mage is the new Hunter, like here we go, it's just a cycle.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, if one part of the aggro deck gets nerfed, people are just gonna move on to different decks, different aggro decks. Could be stronger, could be faster. It's just different type of aggro deck. For example, Zizo, right? Zizo got rank 1 legend, NA in what's that, NA or EU? But in like first day. Using Face Hunter deck. That was interesting.
Yeah,
different Hunter decks will always be there.
The thing about aggro is that when people want to play aggro, they will just take the best aggro deck. So whatever is the best aggro deck at the moment will be the most popular and the most dominant. Because with like mid-range and control, it's like a preference more. It's like, do you prefer Freeze Mage or do you prefer Warrior? Like the decks, they do play differently. And with mid-range, it's also like different. Like, do you play Druid? Like Druid plays differently than, for example, Paladin, let's say. But then aggro deck, you just want the fastest, the best, the most consistent. So before it was Hunter, right now it's like Mech Mage. So if somebody comes up, like, yeah.
Yep. If you're ready with the...
Actually, speaking of Undertakers, Mech Mage just stopped using Undertaker to start with, so people are kind of moving out of the Undertaker, I think, even before it got nerfed.
Yeah,
which is the reason I think they should have done it beforehand, not like a couple months into GVG.
Yeah, it does feel like it was like a step late, because like you said, it was really now just Hunters that took great advantage of it, and that was because of the synergy there. But even then, in tournaments, we weren't really seeing it too often. Compared to how it popular was.
I didn't bring Hunters to any of my tournaments until nerf. And then I brought it to, surprise people, except that didn't work out.
So, what do you think is the next move? Like, right now, Undertaker is kind of out of the picture, especially with those, like, getting killed by Clockwork Gnome or Zombie Chow. What do you think about Dr. Boom getting a nerf next? Does it need a nerf at all? It's like a different card in a different mana slot, but then it's super powerful.
It's a very powerful. I think they could fix. I think they could do something about the RNG with the boom bots. It's not the Doctor Boom kills people. It's usually the boom bots.
Yeah, the bots.
And very often it's just infuriating because you can't really do anything about it. Sometimes it just kills your lore when you try to kill a boom bot with a lore. Or Belcher, it kills off your 6-7 drafts.
It did kill your Shield Maiden, for example.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So would you suggest, like, a lot of people are suggesting to nerf Dr. Boom to have 6 attack?
Oh man! All right. So we give it 10 health too. Is that nerf? Because you can like.
It has less attack. It attacks only for like 6. You know, you can deal with that.
Nerf it to 6 attack. That's a good one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Ooh.
I personally think, oh my god, this hunter. I personally think that maybe change the bots to deal from 1 to 2 instead of like 1 to 4, because 4 is just too much. Like you can
1 to 3 even maybe, because a lot of minions already have 5 health.
Yeah. You can steal the dog.
Which dog will you steal though? That's.
I don't think I want to steal a dog. Where's my heal? I have lots of heals in here somewhere.
Oh wow, yeah, you're already down to 12.
I'll find it somewhere.
The boombots, yeah, I think 1 to 3 would be okay. I mean, maybe that's something they're already discussing and testing internally, but something needs to be done for sure.
Yeah, the problem I think is that like you can deal with the 7/7 because of the BGH and other stuff, but then if like an aggressive, like let's say in Druid, I think in Druid is the most powerful card because you just develop in the 7 and your opponent has to clear everything because Savager is just too powerful. And if you happen to deal 8 damage to face with the bots, it's just so huge. Just finish your opponent easily. So
it's like scenarios, but 2 mana faster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like even dealing more damage because of the bots. It's like a 9/9 on board that can deal 8. So it's basically 17 points of damage for 7 mana. Like at best.
Meanwhile.
Meanwhile,
uphill battle.
Yeah, no heals this time. That's
no. You really need to join to those heals and removals early on, which we didn't. Well, we joined to removals.
Yeah, not the heals, and then he got a really solid extra play there too. Let's jump into another game as we talk, so that people can kind of see it in action. We've discussed the deck, so you don't have to like explain every move, but while we discuss other things, it'll be nice to just have that going on.
So meanwhile, while we're jumping to another game, Massan, because I haven't interviewed you in a while, what's in store for you this year? Like, what are your plans? Like, you are still on TSM, you do stream a lot. Are there any tournaments you are taking part in? Like, what's up?
I don't think, well, I guess I'll be participating in deck quarterfinals.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, congrats on that.
I'm glad because I did participate in deck war season 1 and 2, but I didn't win any of them. So finally making a... Oh, man.
Well, we did have a good match last time.
Yeah, wait. I think we played each other, right?
Yeah, we played each other.
But yeah, you'll have that coming. But is your plan to really keep up with just going to as many tournaments as you can, or sticking more with kind of streaming and going towards that direction?
I'll be putting a lot more focus on stream, but I still would want to play tournaments very often. I'll probably join 2 to 3 a month, I think.
Are you going to be gunning for the BlizzCon World Championship too, or is that like if it happens?
Yes.
Okay. I guess that's a simple question. I think even casual players are like, well, I definitely want to gun for it if I can. So
it's kind of like a gamer's dream, right? Like to get there to BlizzCon and play on the big stage. And the beautiful thing is that everybody can make it. I mean, like if you put enough effort and if you do take your time to play and put yourself, like give yourself a chance, you can do it. Like we've seen it before at last BlizzCon. We've seen some players who were unknown. They made it. They like qualified for the qualifier. They did well, and they did qualify for the World Champs. They went to BlizzCon, and that was amazing.
Yeah, I love what they do about that. You know, different from most games is that you can qualify for the qualifier, right? For through getting Legend on Ladder, and now with the different point systems, you'll have more opportunities to do that. So I think it's pretty nice that they leave that open, just because of the nature of the game of Hearthstone.
Don't they have a different ruling this time? It's more like a Conqueror style instead of King of the Hill.
Yes, yeah. So now you get different like point tiers, right, for different ranks in Legend, and then the most points still get auto qualified, but then anyone with like minimum 2 points can compete in the qualifier.
The format is different as well. Like instead of like last time it was King of the Hill, where you just just stay with your deck and
right, yeah.
Right now we have to win with every deck.
Yeah, I like that too. I really like that change.
I heard that's the format that Reels designed, but I'm not sure. I just heard a rumor. Oh, that was good.
Wow.
I wonder.
Yeah, that's a tricky.
Yeah, this is.
Well, we've seen the videos where Colento is killing people with a very big Light Warden.
Yeah. Should I be scared of that right now?
It looks scary.
It is
holding
a possible turn. So I don't know if I want to go with a pain.
It seems like a waste. The Dark Vomit, but also it's
Would
not
you
like
have done it?
Pyromancer everything and then heal it, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true.
At least they die instead of. Yeah, if those imps were at 2 health, then it'll be actually a nightmare. But
yeah.
Can you imagine?
That would be
a
pretty
circle
bad.
coming? Oh no, circle!
Oh.
That is totally okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad considering your hand.
Oh yeah. I get healed too. Yay!
Not bad. You still develop the board.
Yeah.
Nice.
Develop 1/4.
So this is how it's supposed to play out with your,
it's supposed
your removals
to be.
and the and the heals.
Oh no!
So basically, what we are seeing is that you are life tapping a lot. You are clearing the board when possible, and then try to develop the board as well. And you have those like end game creatures like Sneeds and Kel'Thuzad and Jaraxxus.
I don't know if you need to develop board on this one necessarily, because like you saw, like I didn't really play Mr. Spain just because I had enough removals in my hand.
Right on.
So basically, you do exhaust their minions, and then you play your like bigger ones.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. Like I really like the fact that we have a different deck than Handlock, because a lot of people say it's like Handlock without giants, but it really feels differently, because like it feels different because of those demons and I guess more heals.
Uh-oh.
I guess, yeah.
Hang on. I sense mind control right now.
Whoops.
The
mind control radar is tingling. So are you considering Demon Heart and Dark Bomb your own Sneeds so that he won't mind control it?
But you know, Gnimsh, you always come up with the best plays.
It's like, in your face, you're not taking my Sneeds.
Oh man.
Actually, you know what? It's not going to be mind control. No way. I just realized he hasn't used a coin. Right?
Oh.
So you would have done it last turn.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
I totally forgot about that.
Stealing your Belchers.
Oh. And a 6/10 Vol'jin.
Oh, man.
All right. So
seems like a Kel'Thuzad. Is there a Kofuzat at all? Yeah, there is. Wow.
Right here.
Sick.
But then I can't kill Vol'jin.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh.
But you can get Geddon from. No, Geddon doesn't do it.
You could try.
No, yeah, Geddon does it.
Believe in the RNG. You gotta.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Well, this will be fun.
Now, if he wants to use mind control, he has to kill the panda first. Is he giving you mind control?
I think he wants to mind control.
Yeah, I think that's a shit over death because he had that from the last turn as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You got Shadow or Death, not bad.
Oh yeah, definitely
Yeah,
death. Best cards against Priest.
Now you're just going to get Kel'Thuzad from Sneeds, and we're set.
Oh yeah, I can totally do that. Should I?
The cycle continues.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna discard a card. He's giving me all these cards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man,
he definitely don't want
cards.
me to draw a card. And he killed his own Pyromancer. Congratulations.
Yeah, just to make you overdraw.
Yeah. Just wanted
to make me overdraw.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa, what happened? What happened?
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
DOS? Is this DDoS?
No, I don't think so.
Don't worry. We're going to get back soon.
Alright, so should I give him all the cards he gave me?
I think you should. I think you should return the favor.
Oh.
We want to live in a happy place.
Oh, it's sad that you don't have the bananas. You could feed him bananas.
Yeah. I think it's about time. Alright, I will give him a coin. I think that's pretty
actually
good, right?
Keeping Lord Walker Cho on the board is good. You can give him a coin.
Yeah, definitely. He could totally play a card with a coin. Well, now he has the 2 cards.
You're such a gentleman. Just sharing the coin with him.
I'll give him coin. Oh! Oh man, the coin actually is good now. Oh man. He just top decked that. Wow.
Whoa, that
was last card draw.
That's
pretty good.
Now imagine how many spells can he give you back.
Oh man. Oh, that's just too good.
He's just going to spam the spells.
Oh no. Cho dies now.
Yeah, Cho dies now. Oh man.
But I can heal myself. My hand. Oh, it's not full. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
All right. So, imps are pretty good out here. Sometimes.
Yeah. Ooh.
I kind of want to go for Holy Nova, but then at the same time, I kind of want to go for Inferno.
Ah, I see.
I wonder which one's better.
How important Holy Nova is. You could also go Shadow or Death, yeah.
Yeah. And next turn, I can so go for Demon Heart on one of these Infernals or one of these imps.
Maybe Circle of Healing still. Just to avoid Circle of Healing.
That was possible, yes. Actually, that was a good idea.
Oh, right on, yes.
This shouldn't matter actually. No.
Yeah, I think you're pretty set, especially because you have the 3 imps. Any of them you could use Demon Heart on.
Oh my god, he's using the coin you gave him to steal your cards.
Stealing my cards. What do I have left?
This guy is like, oh my god, Massan's deck is so amazing. I just need to see what he's playing. See more cards to just copy the deck.
Oh man, that was a fun game. I love Sneasel Shredder, right? It's such a fun card, and a lot of these GVG cards specifically, but Sneasel Shredder can definitely lead to a lot of shenanigans.
It's so good. Your opponent can never kill it on a turn and it comes out. If you do, it has to be silenced.
Yeah.
And especially with Kel'Thuzad as a follow-up, it's just you have those crazy combos.
Which is the reason... Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Kel'Thuzad is a super nice card. And I'm very happy, like because I'm a fan of the character from the lore. I'm happy that it's back, and it's really like bringing dead, like undead from the dead or whatever, however you say that.
Yeah.
Was Kel'Thuzad not being used that much? I think it was being used in Ramp Druids, which I have.
But rarely. Like people tried it.
Yeah, rarely.
But
Yeah,
it's
it
not
wasn't
like,
too common.
yeah.
I mean, also, you know, when it first came out, it was like people could just kind of wrote it off as, oh, it's just like a win more card, like whatever. It's just kind of fun to see. That's it. But now there's definitely more synergy around that. People can use it with Sylvanas, with Sneasel Shredder, things like that. I mean, we definitely have time. So I think we've seen kind of both ends of your Warlock deck. What was your Druid deck? That was the one that was banned, right? Was it just standard Ramp Druid, or
it was standard double combo deck?
Okay, that's it's not too exciting. I was hoping for you to be like, actually, no.
You can deal a lot of damage. It's a good deck.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't blame you for preparing it. Just,
so I actually have a follow-up question because Massan, you said like you didn't feel that Druid has a good matchup versus Rogue. Did you test this version versus Rogue, like a double combo?
I didn't get to test it with the other players. I just tested on ladder. Okay. It just didn't feel good.
All right.
That's interesting because Gnimsh, you were saying that you thought it would be favorable. I want to kind of hear both sides.
Yeah. So my reasoning with that deck is that with the double combo, like we have to assume that you have a standard draw. So you either get like Wild Growth or you have Innervate. You basically, the rogue deck doesn't have any taunts, or like most of the rogue decks, they don't have. So you get aggressive. If you want, you play the taunts, and you eventually should be able to kill them with a combo, which you will have because you have two combos. So if you just keep being aggressive, they are forced to deal with your minions. Like they are forced to sap them, they are forced to trade with them, and eventually you are the one who is like finishing on turn 9. So I felt like with the taunt druid, it was a bad matchup. Like the rogue is just wrecking taunt druid because you're too slow, you have no pressure, and then like you just play minions, they stay on board and they clear it with like a big AOE. But with the combo druid, originally you're just so aggressive that that they are on defensive and you have like a small advantage. Like I would say it's maybe like 53-55%. But from
I think if you run Harrison Jones instead of one of those Drakes, which a lot of people just run too, or they run
Spectral Knights, I think.
Spectral Knight, yes. Then you do have pretty good advantage. But unless you get ramp early on, I feel like they just ramp out too fast, and they're especially the one the Orange was playing, or at least he played in the past. He runs a double oil, so
yeah.
His weapon get out of control really fast, and by turn 7, you're dealing with a 10 damage Assassin's Blade sometimes. And play it for it, and you just die. It's like it doesn't almost matter whether you're how big your board is, because everything just dies to Blade Flurry.
So maybe it's more like a conflict based on the builds. Like if you have Spectral Knights, if you do ramp up, you can win with the Druid. But if you're a rogue, if you do have the oil, if you have Flurry at the time and a good draw, then you win. And so it seems like a conflict.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It depends on the deck.
Yeah, it seems pretty situational on both sides.
If the rogue plays slow, I think what you pointed out is definitely correct. But the version, did they run Dr. Boom on rogue?
We haven't.
Version I saw, he did not run it. He just had double sprint and all.
Yeah, because you run the double sprints, so it'd be tough to also fit it in. Yeah.
I think that might have been a little too fast.
Yeah, why don't we play another game to wrap things up, and then we can discuss some other things.
As we play Resident Sleeper or
MechMage.
MechMage.
All right. Since Gnimsh wanted it from the beginning, let's play the MechMage.
All right, I'll play MechMage.
Yeah, I really like your play. Like when you overextended, you were like, "Hey, I have good cards. Do you have Shadow Flame? Do you have Shadow Flame? Because if you don't, I win." And he's like, I have one, and I'm like, "Oh." But then you still had a chance if you would top deck Fireball. Like Fireball is one of the most important cards in the matchup.
Yeah,
you had
exactly. I think that I overextended a little bit early on. I don't think I overextended mid game. When I had to go for it at that point because I was kind of behind.
Yeah.
But wait, against the trade. But early on, I think I should have just gone with, instead of going for Mech Warper, I should have gone with Mad Scientist on the very first turn. Would you agree with that?
With like,
it's debatable.
Yeah, I think it's debatable, and I think it's obviously hindsight is 2020. So I think in hindsight, I might agree, but given the situation, I don't think you could really fault anyone for making the play you did.
Especially against Handlocks, because a lot of them will run Zombie Chows and Ancient Watchers, and you certainly don't want to get them.
Yeah. Like personally, I liked it because they do have like Iron Beaks, and they do have a lot of small stuff. So you want to try to have a super fast start, and if you top deck Fireball, you can just go all in, like overextend as much as you want, and then have like a finisher. Because like it's more about like Handlock having, it's not like about your deck, it's more about Handlock or your hand. It's more about Handlock having the answers. Like if he has the answers, it will be tough. But if he doesn't, you can just win right away. So I felt like your line of play was correct there. Just and especially because you like the match wasn't on stake. Like you had still Paladin, which is decent Handlock. So like
I just wanted to get to see more of his deck because I wasn't sure at first. At first.
Yeah. Right on.
Anyways,
now
Mad Scientist
no.
Oh, what's up?
I was waiting for Gnimsh to finish his train of thought.
Go ahead and finish your talk. Or I'm sorry. You know what? You two go ahead and battle out. What the heck is going on?
No, I think that was it.
I'm not saying anything.
But I actually want to talk about something else outside of the game. Specifically, or actually before we go to that, so what do you think about
this?
Kind of the
Always
state
happens. Sorry, Chobra, but like
I
look
know,
at the board. This always happens to me as well. Like this Trader Blast Mage.
Uh-oh.
Alright, sorry.
The stream is down. Is the stream down right now?
No, I don't think so. I think it should be fine.
Okay.
But I guess just on the state of ladder, right? Because a lot of people obviously want to climb as high as they can and whatnot. I mean, what do you think? Is it kind of Mech Mage the go-to just because of the time efficiency plus the strength of the deck, or
early this season? I think it's just much easier to. And it's much more efficient to play aggro decks just because how many games you go through. For example, the great example is Aziza. Obviously, he played the Face Hunter. He probably has like 55, 56, or maybe 60% win rate. But then because he gets so many games well, his games are probably like 5-minute games, right? Instead of 15, 20 of the Mech Warrior, maybe 30 or Priest. It's just that early in the season, it does get you farther,
right,
by playing aggro decks.
Yeah, the time
towards the end, like as you see more, like your win rate isn't as high if you're playing aggro deck as you playing mid range or control decks, in my opinion.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think also like if you're a player who is new to the game or wants to like you're not a frequent ladder like a frequent legend player, Mech Mage is a deck that's simple to play, but it will help you to understand how the game works, because you have to know when you need to trade with the minions. You have to know when you want to go for face, and in Mech Mage, those things happen. Like it really teaches you how to play Hearthstone as like the core mechanics go. So that's why I think like the efficiency and the actual learning curve is really important here.
That's a good point. I want to ask both of you guys actually. What do you think is the easiest class to learn the entire, like, the ins and outs of Hearthstone with for new players? So based on what you said, do you think then that it's Mage, Gnimsh, or would you still recommend something else?
I think Mage is actually easiest. I would like, we could argue with Zoo or Mage, but then with Zoo you have to do much more trading, and you have to know when to tap. And with Mage you have a simple strategy. You just want to deal as much damage as possible, saving your board and learning what other decks are playing, and then you have those fireballs to finish the games.
To me, it depends on what you want to do. Like if you want to learn how to play a game, all right, like Gnimsh said, the easiest deck to play is probably those aggro decks, Face Hunter, Mech Mage, and Zoo. But if you actually want to learn game and how to trade, or if you want to see the strength of your deck and you want to learn how to build a deck, probably mid range. I want to say mid range Druid, or some sort of mid range decks are probably best to go to.
Okay, yeah, because I remember for a while, I guess like right out of beta, people were also saying Druid a lot. They were like, I think Druid's pretty good to learn because you also have like the choose one mechanics and whatnot. So you really get to learn about the optimal plays when you have options. But it's interesting to hear. Obviously, aggro, like both of you guys have said, it's the easiest to just pick up and then kind of get through the very basics of a game like Hearthstone.
Yeah, basically, like in the beginning, a lot of like from experience, because I get feedback from a lot of people. People in the beginning, they lose a lot and they blame RNG. Where after they learn the game, they know, oh, I lost because I did that instead of that. Like in the beginning, you just don't see your mistakes, but with experience, you actually start realizing that you're doing something wrong. And there are steps as well. Like you pick up a deck and you have to understand how the deck works and how the card works. And then you learn other decks while you play. Like you learn the matchups, and you learn that some people actually play mind control tech, or that the Druid has the combo that can kill you.
I think it's the other way around for me. I used to not blame RNG at all, and I used to always think that I must have done something wrong. I could play that better somewhere.
But experience has taught
nowadays,
you.
experience has. Like, once you know the game enough, I think it goes back to the point where you blame RNG.
That's pretty interesting, actually. That's different perspective. You're just more like humble, I guess, right? You're like, I'm still like learning and stuff, or and right now you mastered the game, and you're like, yeah, that was just luck.
I didn't master the game by no means, obviously.
Yeah, at some point
mistakes every day. I'm master of missing meatballs. Come on.
I'm definitely more like what Gnimsh described. I used to definitely just be more about RNG. Like even when I won, I'd be like, oh yeah, like the RNG was in my favor. But nowadays, I definitely review a lot more both wins and losses in terms of optimal plays and whatnot and value.
I think I stopped playing in RNG, at least in Arena. At least, yeah, 10's down. Because I don't think our Arena has that much RNG.
It's interesting.
Really? Why do you think? What do you think? So?
Yeah,
like, there is RNG, and it's not like I don't agree with you because I probably I don't have actually an opinion because I don't play that much arenas. But I'm really curious. Why is that? Because you do have the drafting part when you build a deck, and then you have the random matchmaking. So why do you think there is not that much RNG in arenas?
Because just in constructed or ranked, the only part you can change once you get to the certain level is the way you play. You can't really change the way you draft if everyone's once the meta solidifies. So everyone's kind of playing either this, that, or this. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But like, in Arena, it's always going to be all right. I control the drafting part. I control the playing it part.
Right. Yeah, you have more control over the whole course.
Yeah, have more control over overall.
I like that argument.
I definitely understand that. Yeah, it's like more you have basically more control over the game. So that's like constructed. Everybody is playing on the same level more or less because everybody has the same kind of decks. Like everybody knows like what's the best. And in arenas, you have your game plan. You have something you follow up with the deck building, and then you know how to use your deck specifically to win. Interesting. Yeah. That's a pretty good point.
Makes sense. I think that will be it for the games. But before we wrap up, I actually do. This is something we'll be discussing on turn 2 with our other guests. But since we have you on here, I think I do want to touch upon it because we were kind of concerned about it in the middle of our tabletop too about DDoSing, right? Because it's an issue that you've spoken out about.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to
go ahead. I'm ready.
I just want to ask, what are your thoughts on the current state of like how much it's affected tournaments and how people are reacting to it?
So you're looking at the damage control part, not the prevention. Oh,
Well, first the damage control, and then we'll talk about prevention because I know you've posted like methods against that and whatnot.
all right. Well, I mean, it just ruins the tournaments. It just turns the viewers down. Like once the DDoS starts, like nothing really can be done. So if viewers feels well, at least for me, like I played in Queen in tournaments first week. We played the series out, but my opponents kept being DDoSed, and it turned out after spending about 9 hours into tournaments, the tournaments were set, and I had to replay him all over. I don't know if any other tournaments made the same decision. I think the Pinnacle just went forward. All right, you get DDoS, you're out.
Oh yeah.
And that's really turned down for a player too, because they really wanted to prove themselves something about their value, and then you don't even get a chance after all the work you put in.
Yeah, stuff. I think Orange was one of the people that got hit by that. I've seen some posts that he got really like Orange. He got a good place.
Oh yes,
got DDoSed.
I wasn't sure if he got DDoSed or because he says his internet just cut off and he never came back from it. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
It could have been, but there were definitely DDoS issues, and like you said, it's tough for the tournament organizers, right? Because any rule, it's like someone's gonna pay for it, and so. Ultimately, the prevention is probably the best answer. What do you think about that? I mean, this is something I've asked people before, and we'll be discussing it again in turn 2. But it's like DDoSing isn't a new thing, right? It's just it's happened in other esports.
It's been around since like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it's just that people never actually got to the point to the DDoS tournaments. Instead of people used to just DDoS the players and streamers. Now they started DDoSing in tournament and the players in it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what do you think about kind of like the awareness of it? Do you think it took a little bit too long for people to be like, okay, we really need to crack down and like be preventative? Because for instance, it happened in StarCraft, and then people caught on and they were like, okay, we need to like prevent ourselves. And then it happened in like League of Legends too. People were like, okay, we actually need to put up our own measures. And we're seeing that cycle, I think, with pretty much every title that gets big. The players are like, "Oh shoot! Like I didn't know it could happen to me," and then they're like, "Oh, I guess I should learn how to prevent it now." What do you think about that? And do you think there's enough like easy to use preventative methods for everyone to access?
Well, yes. Well, wait. You asked like 3 questions. Which one should
I know.
You can answer them randomly. Let's start with
you can answer them in different
one by
orders. But we'll go back to the first one. Do you think it's taking too long for players to kind of react and take preventative measures?
Honestly, until you use something valuable to you, which in my part, my stream was DDoS, and until I actually got the preventive method, I wasn't able to stream for a week or so. Well, I streamed, but then like it was going down every half an hour or so. That's why I learned. That was about a year ago. I think they're just DDoSers being generous to Hearthstone, I guess, so far, because it took them like almost 2 years for them to start DDoSing mass number of people or streamers, players. It used to be just 1 or 2. So I mean, people are gonna learn from mistakes, and this is it. Like they took a they made a mistake not preventing themselves, not protecting themselves from DDoSing, and they paid for it, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
it's kind of like if it doesn't happen to you, you feel like, yeah, nobody will DDoS me, right? So that people are coming to tournaments and they're like, yeah, you won't DDoS me, and then they're
it's
not
so
protected,
easy too.
Bam, DDoS, right? So
yeah. That's like saying no one's gonna swear at me, but people do.
It's like the high mom
no one's
thing.
gonna DDoS. No one's gonna swear at me. I'm a nice guy.
Exactly.
What about the preventing? Obviously, you've posted methods on it, and there's been quite a few posts, even in other titles around. You think So in your opinion, I think I know the answer to this question already, but it's simple enough that like everyone should do it pretty much, right? It's not something that you have to go way out of
Yeah,
your way.
like everyone should do it.
Yeah,
Are you?
if you're a
Should we
streamer
go
or
over
a
method
player or
as well,
whatnot.
or
If you want to discuss it briefly, I mean, we have the time,
all
so
right? Well,
for sure.
the easiest, by far the easiest method is before you do anything, before your IP is shown, just make a new scab ID without your information in it. So say,
Yeah,
Massan 2013, and you're not Massan, and you're not from 2013.
all
So
right.
no one's gonna find about your Skype name, and that's the well these days that's pretty much the only way for other random people to DDoS you unless you have a backdoor program installed in your computer, which probably means you need to like wipe out your computer out before anything. So yeah, just
So
change your Skype and not change your Skype, like make a new Skype and use that Skype only. That's the easiest method, and it also
probably
takes
the
a
best.
toll.
Yeah,
It probably is the best, but it takes a toll. Like you have to re-add everyone you knew of. It's like making a new Facebook account, or
yeah,
new
yeah.
Twitch account. Yeah, you can do it easily, but would you want to? Maybe not, because you have all those followers.
Mhm.
If you're a streamer or player already.
Right.
For those of people who already don't want to change the Skype name, I guess there are like three methods to do it. One another is all right. So the way I will just go over how people DDoS you.
Mhm.
So the way you get DDoSed is that they can easiest way for you to get DDoSed is they can use a program such as a Skype or Mumble to look your IP up because they have to connect you somewhere unless the talk server is hosted like Ventrilo.
Mhm.
Your IP will be shown because they have to connect you to
Right.
DDoSer. If
Yeah.
like or some random people like you have to have your IP somewhere,
Mhm.
and people can just Google Skype resolver, IP resolver. I think they will look your IP up for you, or they can use the very old Skype, like the very initial version used to show IP of all the time. They stopped doing it starting like 6.0. Right now it's a 7.0, I think.
Yeah.
But then people who had them still can use it, I think, and they will your IP will be shown. Those resolvers typically takes like 3 to 4 hours to show. So once you change the IP, you're pretty much safe for 2 to 3 hours or so. So
Okay.
if you just want to be in tournaments and quickly get out, then change your IP, call your ISP, change your IP, and play in it
And then you
for
should
a
be good
couple
for the
hours.
tournament. Yeah.
Like if you can take a break between it, like the streamers, you can't cut your internet off for 4 or 5 minutes and come back. That's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. But players, they can. Hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. We'll be right back in like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
They can do that anytime, especially between the tournaments, between rounds.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like if it's like a day-long qualifier or something, you can just go after one
Yeah.
match and whatnot. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think it's definitely something that's gathered enough attention now in the Hearthstone scene that it's like players and tournament organizers alike should be working towards making everyone aware of what they can do. So I'm sure a lot of people are appreciative of you putting your methods out there and helping people out. But once again, I think that's it for the tabletop. And once again, I just want to congratulate you for your Deck Wars victory, of course. 4-3
Finally.
over Orange. Yeah, you finally got your win after 3 seasons. And you'll
Yep.
be joining us again in the
Season.
final tournament of Deck Wars. And I guess we'll see you then. And of course, before we sign off, any shout outs, where people can find you. Of course, you stream a lot.
Well, shout outs to my team TSM as well as teammates TSM Creep, who recently joined, as well as TSM Trump.
Mhm.
Shout out to my sponsors, Logitech, I buy Power PC, I think it's what it's called, as well as
Yeah.
a Kingpin.
Mhm.
Those are 3 title sponsors, I think. And you can find me on just Google Massan, I guess. Massan, twitch.tv/MassanSC. I have SC at the end of my name because I used to play StarCraft. Now I don't anymore. I have YouTube channel as well. You guys can check the cool videos out there. And
Nice.
thanks for having me.
Oh, of course, it was a pleasure. I love it. I love it how you're just like, you can just Google Massan, and it's like the best shout out instead of like listing all the websites.
That is that is
This is like the top 3 results. That's where you'll find me. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us for the tabletop, of course, and congratulations once again. For all our viewers, we'll be back shortly after a break with who do we have, Gnimsh? We have Orange and
Deathlore.
Deathlore, yep, for turn 2. Yeah, this is it for us with Massan. But we'll see you again for the Duck Wars final tournament.
We'll
so
definitely,
that'll be
Massan,
exciting.
Thanks for having me.
We can invite you at some point to turn 2 as well. Like,
for sure.
Discussions.
Yeah, if you're up for being up at this hour and chatting with us about our stuff.
Yeah, wait, how late is it? Are you in Korea as well?
Yeah, it's 5 a.m.
Where did you learn English? Everyone asked me that question, so I assume everyone asked you the same question.
Oh, I was born in the States actually, and then I lived in Korea for like elementary school, but then I went back to the States for the rest of my school.
That's cheating. So
yeah, so I'm really an American. I'm an American citizen. Like I just look Korean. But yeah,
gotcha.
It's the wee hours in Korea. So congratulations to Massan. For all our viewers, thanks for joining us for Duck Wars and the Tabletop. For this stream, we'll be back shortly for turn 2. Don't go anywhere.